What's good, everybody? Hope all is well. This is Zachary King from the Kitchen Table Podcast, and I'm here with the beautiful
Dr. Dalesa Rueda.
It's so nice to have you here. Doctor, what kind of doctor are you?
I'm a PhD. I have a PhD in couple and family therapy. So I'm a therapist.
Therapist. Yeah, I might need a little bit of couch time with you. So let me go ahead. Me and Cupid, I got some smoke for Cupid. So yeah.
That's my jam. Relationships. That's where my center is. So
that's the center. All right. So go ahead. You got to give me the hookup because
Okay.
I'm gonna have to use a few hours. So, how did you get there? How did you start this?
So I've been a therapist for over 20 years. Initially, I became a therapist because I had some of my own struggles. I was a teen mother and had some trauma growing up. And I wanted to be in a position where I can help other girls who were going through some of the things that I had gone through. And over time, that evolved. I did a whole lot of work with adolescents and children and their families. And then more recently, I've done more work with adults, and then I found couples to really be my jam.
Got you. What are some of the struggles that you have when dealing with couples? Like, do you get more struggles coming from the men or from the women?
Oh, it's pretty mixed.
Okay.
I would say if it's a heterosexual couple, because I'd see couples who are LGBTQ also.
Okay.
So that's a different dynamic. But generally, I don't want to say it's more than women, but
You starting to see an increase of women?
We just think differently. I call it man talk and woman speak when I'm with my couples. Like we literally speak different languages at times, and I think it creates a disconnect and a lack of understanding sometimes, even in my own relationship. And so sometimes it's just because we're wired differently, we approach things from a different perspective. And I think at some level, as a woman, I know the things that I was taught about who I'm supposed to be as a woman and how I'm supposed to nurture and what that means and what I'm supposed to receive as far as what I get from a relationship. And men are taught different things as well. And so where the head bump starts to come in is how they negotiate that so that they can find some peace and stay in that loving place. Right.
Let me ask this question right here, right? So when it comes to communication, is it that like women just don't, is it like a trust thing, the reason why they have a hard time like with the communication? Or like, do they feel like because I'm just going from my own personal experiences as well, is that sometimes I feel like women, it's like it got to be confirmed by another source. Like I might tell you something, hey babe, that looks great on you.
Yeah.
But it got to be confirmed by your girlfriend.
Right.
It's like, hey, don't do that. It got to be confirmed by your pastor. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I almost get to the point. So is it like, what is that? Like,
so it sounds like you're saying that you've been in experiences where women don't trust their male partner.
Yeah, for sure. I have been in circumstances where I remember being in a relationship to where I would say certain things to my lady. And it wasn't until her girlfriend would say it and would say, "Oh yeah, he's good then," or it was like their mother needed to say it, and I was like, "See now that your pastor said it, it's cool, but when I told you it too, it was a problem
because she doesn't trust you to lead."
Is that what it is?
Yeah, and not just it might be you. But it might not be. A lot of times, like people come to relationships with so much trauma and so much stuff, and they don't. A lot of times, people don't learn to heal before they come into a relationship. And so we all even heal, whether you've done your work or not, we all come into a relationship with baggage. We all come with our bits and pieces. Sometimes it's big bags. Sometimes it's a whole house full. But when you want to have a healthy relationship, that communication, that back and forth is really important. And if we haven't dealt with our own shit, then we don't necessarily know how to connect with somebody else. Like you may very well mean well, like you're trying to be, I just want you to to know that I value you, that I love you, that I see you, and all these things. And because she doesn't trust maybe herself, maybe she doesn't trust based on like past relationships where maybe she's been betrayed or hurt or harmed or whatever the thing, then she might struggle with being able to hear it from you, even if she understands that you mean well and that you're not putting her in that place. It might be hard for her to hear it.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's all women, but I think we do live in a society where relationships, like we see the social media version of relationships, and we think that if you disagree with me or if we're not on the same page all the time, then that means something's wrong, and then they run from it instead of staying in it and dealing with it.
That was the point I wanted to ask you as well, because it was a therapist I got on social media, and she was saying that it's really hard to counsel women, because when it's like when the counselor, when it comes in, it's like initially it's like, he's doing this, he's doing that, he's doing this. They're willing, it's like, let's go in here and solve this. But then when it turns into, no, where you're actually the problem, she was saying like women disappear from therapy and don't want to, proceed and move forward. Has that been your experiences?
It happens. It definitely happens. And I've had couples where when it's oh, this is how I'm left feeling, and all right, let's talk about that. We do all these exercises and they start making progress. And I've heard men say, not just once, multiple times, where it's like, well, if I'm in the wrong, then we can talk about it all day. We can process it, and I'm expected to regulate my emotions. I'm expected to hear where she's coming from. But then on the flip side, if I say that I'm hurt, then you don't have to she doesn't have to be accountable for it, and it's not fair. But we live in a society where that's how we're taught to be. So again, going back to that, how women are taught to live in the world, and how men are taught to live in the world. Men don't have it as easy as we like to believe. Like like as a man, as far as I see it, and like as far as I'm thinking about clients and people that I've helped to heal, there's this expectation, and men that I know, there's this expectation for men to be strong and have all these answers. There's expectation for women to be strong too, but we get to express our emotions. We get to say that when we feel overwhelmed. We get to say when it feels like it's too much. Men don't have as much of a space for that. Not with other men. Not with and even sometimes in their partnerships, it's like, well, you're supposed to provide, you're supposed to lead, you're supposed to do all the heavy lifting,
and make my life easier.
How dare you, and make my life easier? How dare you have feelings? And it is. It's as much as I hate the word, it's pretty toxic. I don't believe in the happy wife, happy life. I might get like beat up for that, but
you gotta put you in protective custody now.
I tell all my clients, like, if you want a therapist who's going to go happy wife, happy life, make her happy and everything is good. Like, even I got married in November, and people in their thank you, people in their advice to us was, well, happy wife, happy life. I'm like, no, happy house, happy spouse.
I totally agree with that. I do think we lean forward way much into putting our happiness into this one person basket and hoping that they're going to make everyone happy. And then, it's like, but the rest of the people are miserable. And I too, again, I have been in those circumstances as well, where I might make a mistake, and it becomes I can't live like this. I can't move forward. I can't continuously move in like how we're moving. They make a mistake, and it becomes a house is not a home unless people all pull together. We all gotta come together as a family, and it's like, we gotta teamwork make the dream work when you mess up. But when I mess up, I can't take this no more, and I'm not happy, and it's really unfortunate because that goes on a lot.
It does.
You know, even for me with this platform, you know, this platform is no doubt in celebration of women, but I think women sometimes get the wrong idea of that. I think when they hear celebration, they're like, we should be praised. But celebration means, and it's like, we're going to give you your praise and give you your, tell you how special you are. But it also means holding you accountable and having tough conversations.
Right.
You know, because that's true love right there.
It is.
When you love something, you critique it and not tear it down, but critique it. You want it to be, the best that it could possibly be. Not, I'm just going to just let you run amok and let you do everything that you're big enough to do. And then you run into a wall like that. That don't help.
Some of the biggest conversations, the most valuable conversations I have in my own relationship are when I'm being called to the carpet.
Right,
when it's a hard conversation, but it's like, Dalesa, if you want to be better, if this is where we're saying we're going in our relationship, then we have to work together. And there's some things that you're not doing quite right that are creating a disconnect in that.
Right. I mean, when two people come together, both people got to have a dog in a fight.
Yep.
I think also in this day and age and where we live in, is so many people believe that it's up to one person to carry the other. We just had a conversation on this and we were talking about like finance, like 50-50 and going half and everything. And I was like, I just think that, like, for me, I'm a 50-50 guy. Not necessarily. I'm a 50-50 guy in the term of saying that, I believe that you must have a financial dog in the fight.
Yeah.
I don't believe that you can go walk into a situation and expect for everything to be handed over to you. You got to have something because it's become too easy to walk away.
Right.
And that's just my personal opinion. I mean, there are plenty of men who think the complete opposite. I'll take care of everything. And again, I make the argument like where I have seen where something has been fully provided for a person where they completely didn't have to think about where their next meal is going to come from. And instead of that person being extremely appreciative, they become entitled. You know what I'm saying? They become almost like, well, you're supposed to be doing that. And then the moment, like, I'm not sure if you've seen the woman, it was a thing on social media where the woman, she was, her husband fell in like hard times. And she left him. And she was like, I told him from the very beginning that he's to always provide for me. And I was like, that is a terrible person. Like, man or woman, that whoever does that is a terrible person. Like, how can you see somebody who's been there for you all this time and got a track record of something being there for you, and then they fall on tough times and you don't feel compelled to help? Like, that is terrible on your side. That is a leech. That is a true definition of a parasite right there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I wouldn't want that. Please don't let that love follow me.
That's real.
Don't let that. I don't want no woman like that. I don't mind being with me, the byproduct of what I would do for you.
Right.
But that's not the requirement.
Right.
You get me? Like, now we was 18, 19, and we said, hey, babe, we're going to put this in place so you never have to. I'm going to just use you as an example. We're going to put your therapy practice in place so by the time it get to here, you could remove yourself from the workforce. That's cool. But I don't think I'm responsible for that. And we meet at 40. Like, I don't think I'm responsible for your financial upkeep. And they be wanting men like, he should take care of my hair and my nails. It's like, what? You are a functional adult.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, and it's like, it's not like a back in the day where two parties didn't have kids. We got responsibilities now.
Right.
Like both parties have responsibility. You had responsibility before I met you. You might have them while we're together and while when we leave. Like, I'm not doing that. I think
it's like the way we value relationships are so different than what they used to be. It's like we want to have those old school traditional values when it benefits us.
Right.
And that's kind of crappy. That's my professional opinion. That is kind of crappy, but it just from the sense that if I'm only in it for what you can do for me, then it's not a relationship. it's an arrangement.
Dependency.
It's a dependency.
You want a father, you want a mother.
Right. And relationships, and I think we all should bring 100% to our relationships, and just know that if we're going to do life with somebody, that sometimes I don't have 100%. Sometimes you don't have 100%.
Right.
So sometimes that means I might have to give 150 because you having a moment, because you're experiencing some things, because life is lifing, and I agree to be here with you in this partnership. So that means sometimes I gotta do the heavy lifting. Sometimes it means that you got to do the heavy lifting. Sometimes it means we lift it together. Right. But when people think about it, they come into it like, oh no, this is, I think one of the struggles that I find, I was just talking to someone about like intentional dating, right? Like, and I hear women use it more than men. Right. And they come into it like, oh, but because I want a partner, I don't want to be used. I don't want to be a side chick. I don't want to, and all of that is fair and reasonable. It's like have value for yourself. And what you want ultimately is a long-term relationship. That's okay. But people come into it with this idea as like, I'm the prize and he's not. And because of that, you have to check off all the boxes that I need you to check off. But isn't it fair for him to have boxes too? So
the name of the umbrella company is I'm the Prize Media. Okay, that is the umbrella, right? And we have, the Future is Female podcast, the Kitchen Table podcast, and then we have another podcast, Deep in the Sheets podcast. Okay, so but when people see the I Am the Prize Media, they're like, oh, you think you the prize, and I got my jackets that got the I'm the prize logo on it. And I've had women like, they don't make men like men anymore, or men want to be so sassy. And I'm like, damn, I can't be a prize. Like, I can't have standards. I can't be, and it's like, you could be the prize as long as you acknowledge that she's the bigger prize. It's like, he can't be the prize. He can't have any standards of his own. And we're like forced to like, and that's the sad part, because one of the videos that we did I think it almost going viral, like 70,000 views, is that I was talking about interracial relationships. And I was saying that when it comes to interracial relationships, a black woman will give a geeky, mediocre, run-of-the-mill white man a shot. But when it comes to being a black man, we have to be 6 foot, drive a nice car, make over 100,000, have all these, be super interested in all areas of life, be a social, a social kingpin, basically. It's like we have to have it all for us, for even to be accepted, just for us to be even appreciated. It's like you not even, and if you ask women this, they'll tell you, they'll be like, oh no, I give men a shot. They will not name not one average man. It's like every man that they name he'll fit one of them categories. You know what I'm saying? Before she even identify him. Like, and it's really unfortunate.
It is. And I will say that I don't think it's anything wrong. I hear a lot of times women go like, oh, when they say, what do you bring to the table? Oh, I am the table. Like, but are you though?
Right.
Like, so
what does that mean? Like,
I don't know.
That is so, again, we talk about childlike behavior. It's like the first part about being an adult is able to articulate yourself. How do you not be able to say what you bring? Like, how can you can't articulate that? Right.
Fabulous said, find what you bring to the table and then pull up a chair. And I love that line because it goes with what I'm saying. It's like we all bring something to each other. I do think my husband is the prize. I think that I won by finding him. And I say that not because he's better than one person or the other, but because I know factually, like I see a lot of single women in my practice, and they're looking for, and not just them, at some point I was looking for a healthy relationship where I felt like, this is my person. This is the person that I want to be with. And there's no way that I can say, this is my person. This is the person that I want to do life with. This is the person that I want to lift me up, or I think I'm this big person and I want somebody who I don't intimidate. I want somebody who I who values me and isn't a slouch and all these other things, but then I come and I'm slouching myself.
Right.
And so it's not as common nowadays for us to think in that way. But what I do teach my couples is that if you're committed to really doing work and having a healthy relationship, that the I has to kind of go out the door, and you got to start thinking about we. And sometimes that's hard to do. Like I was single for. Like I was married before.
Okay.
And
so this is your second marriage.
This is my second marriage.
Gotcha.
And I was pretty young when I got married the first time, but there's like 11 years in between my divorce and my second marriage. And so I learned how to do a lot of things independently. Right. And I learned how to take care of myself in a way that worked for me. But I also, when I got into a relationship, I had to learn that I'm not by myself anymore. I was also one of the people, and I think a lot of Black women struggle with one of my teachers, like back in grad school, said, yeah, you got that Black woman syndrome going on good. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, you can do it all. You take care of everything. Everything gets put on you. You have to take care of everybody. And a lot of Black women experience that. Like, we're responsible for holding the weight for everyone in their household. And the thing that that I would say all the time before I started dating my current husband is, I want somebody that can allow me to take the cape off when I go home. And because my job is holding space for people. Right. And I was doing that as a supervisor. I was doing that for my clients. I have children. There was people in my family, my friends, like I'm always the one that they call. I'm the strong friend. And so being able to have somebody that can hold space for me like that was important to me. And that doesn't mean that just because he allows me the space to take that cape off, that I never have to hold space for him. I actually want to hold space for him.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I'm glad you said that. But one of the things, just a little bit of pushback is, I feel like a lot of stuff that so many of the Black women hold on to is like, it's by their own doing. It's like they just, I don't know if it's a I need to feel important thing. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, but I'm like just trying to call and trying to make sense of it, because it's like I see so many of our sisters, because you're going to be into the group as well, but currently I have a networking group of 80 women. Okay. And a lot of times with the women in there, one of the most common things is that they just feel like one, they are alone. Yeah. And two, they feel like they must do everything. And it's like, and I tell them, like, this is why you burnt out. Like throw your problems, like in our group. I'm like, throw them in a group. I tell women all the time, when joining my group, I tell them, I said, do not expect to get anything out of the group per se. Throw your situation in a group, and I promise that it's going to be reciprocated. Go to help someone, because I notice that when you help someone, it's like that feeling of like, yo, I'm doing something decent, you know. And I don't know, there's a scientific term for it, and I'll tell them, like, if your stuff is not reciprocated, I will personally reciprocate. I will personally buy your book. I will personally support your business. I will personally build up video content for you. We will get it done. And it's like you can see them almost relaxing a little bit. Yeah. It's like, and it's like, like stay in that space. Like, you don't have to do it alone. Yeah. The ones who, because this is calling a spade and throwing it down the middle. The ones that don't get anything out of the group is because they don't participate. It's because they haven't let go. You know what I'm saying? It's the group is $15 a month, right? And I tell the women, I say, if you have the potential, you could pay $15 a month, and potentially you're going to make $1,500 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that many people are in the group. It's that many resources in the group. They all women hear the same boring, corny speech from me. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like, it's like, this is the mindset. Yeah. And it's like, but in addition to the mindset, it's like, I've got to change the women when they come up in here as well to say, you don't have to do it alone no more. You got help. you got support. But sometimes it is due because it's like they want to get the support, but they don't want to support others. And then so it's like that become a little frustrating too. So we trying to figure that out as well, because it's like, no, don't just post all your events up in here. Then when it comes time to support others, you're like, oh no, I was busy that week. No, you need to go ahead and support others as well. And we have them hard conversations as well. I'm sorry. Let me just say this real quick, because I don't want our women, especially our black women, to feel like they're being attacked.
No.
So what can we do to, and I always ask this question is, what can we do to lighten the burden of the black woman? Because we do recognize that she is overworked.
I think it is a matter of learning to support one another and acknowledge that there is a heavy load that we have to carry, and to be able to hold space for each other. And then what we have to do, I think, individually is learn to surrender to that some. So learn to be able to say, you know what? I maybe feel better when I'm in control, because I know I can take care of it. I can do the thing.
Right.
And also know that I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the solutions. It is too much for me to have to do this on my own, and give myself and other women grace to be able to make mistakes, to be able to, not just other women, other men too, to be able to give each other some grace that I might not always get it right, but that doesn't mean that you can't trust that I can hold it for you.
Right.
And I think a lot of what we don't learn, or what we do learn, is that we can't trust other people. That was one of the first things you asked. You said,
right.
why am I not the one to be trusted to lead you in the right direction? And it's because they're like the story, the tape that plays in our head is, well, men can't be trusted, and other women can't be trusted either. So I guess I'm by myself. I guess I got to do it. I have to do it alone.
Right.
And then it becomes this like self-fulfilling prophecy where we almost manifest our loneliness or our aloneness, because we just believe that nobody else is going to do it like we can. But when we surrender and say, you know what, I was not born in a bubble. I'm not here by myself. Maybe there are other women, other people, my partner can help me work through this and let go of, it's fear based most of the time. Like we're scared to let go because we've been hurt before, because we've been harmed before, because we've been put in positions where things just don't go our way, or where chaos ensued because of whatever the thing was. It's important for us to be able to say, you know what, that happened. It's real. I experienced it, but that doesn't mean that has to be what happens in the future.
Right.
Yeah.
That's real. Please, I want you to share, or not share, but please explain to the women the importance of going to therapy and, coming, maybe them need to work out a couple of issues, and couple therapy as well. So, please explain the importance of that, because I think what happened is, in this day and age where the word therapy and heal and all that stuff is being thrown out so much, I think it becomes watered down, and it's like people don't take it serious no more. It's like, it's a buzzword.
It is.
But it's something that's so important, though.
It is. And so I think what I would say, what I am happy about, is that more people who look like us are going to therapy nowadays. I get people all the time who call and say, no, I want a therapist who looks like me. So that has meaning. So people are coming to do the work. Part of what gets hard is doing the work. And so we start to think, like, same way we see people in relationships on social media, and we're like, oh, this relationship is so great. It's so, like, I want a relationship like that. And then we end up in a relationship, we get into an argument, we disagree, we're not on the same page, we trigger each other, and then it's like, oh no, this is not for me, I'm not happy, I gotta go. But the sticking to it is probably the hardest part, but also the most rewarding. Like, people see oh, this is where I came from, and then here's the glow up, but they don't see all the work, all the things that happen in between. It gets ugly when you're doing your healing. It means you have to have hard conversations. You have to maybe get offended every now and then. You have to be willing to go into those dark corners, those dark spaces of your world that you hide from everybody. And we all have them. We have parts of ourselves that we don't want other people to see. But if we want to heal, we gotta go there. Right. And same way in our relationships, that if we want our relationships to be better, we gotta have that tough conversation over and over until we feel like it's resolved. It means sometimes we might have to go to bed and then wake up and have the conversation again. And going to therapy sometimes can be an outlet for those things. Sometimes it might just be a matter of, I don't have anybody who understands my experience or understands what I'm going through, because I'm everything for everybody in my life. And so having somebody that you can just kind of unpack, release on, can just by itself be healing. Right. But then also allowing yourself to really be like, all right, let me take a step back and look at who I am and what I'm doing, and how I keep ending up in these same cycles. I keep ending up in these same relationships. People end up in the same relationship with just a different body. It's like, it's you, boo. Right. Like, all right, now, like, all right, I want to look in the mirror. And so sometimes people stay away from it because they may know that that's what they have to do. They come to therapy and they're excited and they think they're going to get some tips and tools, or we're going to validate, yeah, he's a narcissist, girl, leave him. Right. And it's not like that. And that doesn't happen. And they're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But what I always tell people, like I tell people when I first start with them, like, this is not necessarily going to be an easy process, but if you trust that the process works, then what will come out of it will be exactly what you said you wanted when you came. And sometimes you're not going to trust it. Sometimes you're going to, like, I wear hoodies a lot. So sometimes I'll say, I might have to have you hold on to my hoodie while I drag you through kicking and screaming through the healing process. But if you let me drag you, and not like in a horrible way, but if you let me hold you through this and let me nudge you, let me push you a little bit, then what can come out of it is, one, you get to be a better version of yourself. You start to see that you start to forgive yourself. You start to forgive other people. You start to be more accepting of who you are, and it allows you to be like being just who you are, being authentic, being unapologetic about who you are is a dope feeling. Like I know what it's like to be to feel like I needed to be silent, to not be who I was, to hold back, to make other people comfortable, or because I wasn't comfortable with myself. So I know what that's like. So to be able to be on the other side of that and say, this is who I am, you like it or you don't, I ain't for everybody, and that's okay. It creates it's life changing. And so to be able to have that experience, like whatever your goals are, whatever you want from life, being able to do that work, it opens up doors in all those other spaces.
I'm got nothing else to say. Look, my big mouth was closed for a change, you guys. This woman is amazing. I'm so grateful to have you here. Is there anything in closing you want to share?
Just a little bit about my practice. So my practice is Inspired and Free. We're a 100% virtual practice. We are licensed in 10 states, and you can find us on social media, all platforms, Inspired and Free Life. So we're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and our website is inspiredandfree.com, and we take insurance. And one of the things that I pride myself on is that we have mostly Black and brown therapists and Black and brown staff, but also like going through my own therapy search, I would find that sometimes it would take weeks and weeks, and sometimes you don't have weeks when you're ready to make the decision. So we pride ourselves in, one, matching you with a therapist that really is for you, but also that we get people scheduled. Like, you can get a consultation within 24 hours, and we can get you scheduled within a week. So and we take a lot of insurance too. So.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. Will you come back? Hold on. Did you have fun?
I had a ball.
Good. So that means you'll come back?
I absolutely will if you'll have me.
No, absolutely. I want you back. I got to give you the pinky swear. Y'all know how I feel about pinky swears. I'm from the 80s. This stuff means something to me.
It does.
So, but no, I thank you so much, man. I thank you for your time, your energy, your expertise, your perspective. I mean, I can't say it. And we also have, I think you might make the 5th or 6th therapist we got in our group.
That's dope.
So we got a few of them in there, all Black women.
Nice.
So I want to definitely introduce you to the other therapists and to the group as well, man. Get y'all ladies networking and stuff. So I'm just grateful to have you on board. I appreciate you. This is The Future is Female. I'm Zachary King. See you guys in the next episode.